Yeah, he was finishing up with Keith, who was a lieutenant in the Army.
I'll go back to my brother Bob.
And we'll do that one too. Okay, so why don't we kind of keep talking about your family, and then we can break for lunch maybe after that, something like that.
Okay.
All right.
Now, do we want him to talk about his wife yet, or just the family until lunch, you think? Or just however you want to do it.
I think it has so much to say about his wife.
Whatever you want me to do.
No, yeah, you know what to say, Denise. Thank you. Okay, are we rolling, Denise? Is it
Yep.
recording?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Well, let's see. I probably ought to go back a little bit about my two brothers. My brother Bob, as I mentioned, was flying troop carriers and towing gliders and dropping paratroops. He started out in North Africa in 1943 and made all the drops in Italy and Sicily, and then they moved his outfit up to Great Britain, where he had numerous flights over Europe. And when they weren't carrying paratroops, they would carry loads of 5-gallon cans of gasoline into France for Patton's tanks, and they'd load up with wounded and fly them back to Great Britain. And he never did come home in between tours. He was on his 4th tour when he got shot down. The reason he didn't come home, he kept telling him he didn't have anything to come home for. The girlfriend that he had had for many years before he joined the Army, when he was in high school, as a matter of fact, shortly after his outfit left the States and flew to Africa, she married somebody else. And this broke his heart. And he said, I haven't got anything to go home for. So he was on his 4th tour over there without ever coming home in between tours, and which is pretty much unheard of. And finally, he was making a parachute drop over across the Rhine, and in March of 1945, and they normally dropped at 300 feet, went in and got hit, his airplane hit a small arms fire, set his airplane on fire. Excuse me. Set his airplane on fire right after he got rid of his troops, and he managed to get it turned around and up to 1,000 feet, and got the rest of his crew out, and he jumped. When he came down to shoot, somebody shot him through the chest, and it took out about 3 inches of his spinal column. And he lay out there in a heap for some period of time. Finally, the Germans came out and picked him up, and they were carrying him back, I guess, for treatment. And when they were bushwhacked by a patrol of Canadian Rangers who wiped out the Germans, and they took him back the other way, and he finally got home and spent about 4 or 5 years in hospitals. And he met his wife while he was in Birmingham General Hospital down in Van Nuys. She was one of many ladies who worked for the movie studios who would come out to the hospital, gather up a bunch of the paraplegics and quadriplegics and take them to ball games and nightclubs and things like this to entertain them. and he met this one gal, and they hit it off pretty well, and got married. After, let's say, several years in the hospital, they discharged him. He was discharged as a lieutenant colonel, and he got in his wheelchair, and of course he could drive a car. He had a car with all hand controls. He'd drive off to school every day, and he went 3 years to UCLA in that wheelchair and became a micropaleontologist. He got hired immediately by that was my watch.
Oh, sure.
Thanks, Diz. That is really interesting. Can you tell us a little bit more about his career as a micropaleontologist, like where he worked, and that's really interesting to us. Thank you.
Yes. Well, he got a job right out of college with the Union Oil Company, and working in their lab up at Bakersfield, or down at Bakersfield, and he was doing fine. Built himself a great house, and he could maneuver around without any problem. Big doors and shower he could wheel into, and shower, and he could wheel out, climb up on his bed and dress himself, and wheel out for breakfast, and he'd eat, wheel out to his car. He would climb in his car, fold his wheelchair up, throw it in the back seat, and off he'd go to work. And he was with them, well, the mid-50s, I think 54 or 55, they had some pretty bad earthquake up in the Tehachapi Mountains. And this one tipped him over in his chair, and he could not get up. Having strength only in muscles from here up was pretty hard for him to maneuver. But finally, people found him, got him set up again, and he worked for a couple more days, and they had an aftershock, and over he went again, and he couldn't get up. And he said, "That's it, I quit." He quit his job, and he moved to Sacramento. And he got a job with the California State Water Resources Department as a geologist, and he worked for them until in his 60s when he retired. He was shot down, he was 27, so he was in his very early 30s working for Union Oil, and getting into his later 30s when he went to work for the state. But he started to have problems, more problems all the time because of his injuries. He only had one kidney, he found out along the way there. He spent a lot of time going to hospitals, and he developed diabetes, and he had heart attacks, and you name it, he just about had everything. And finally, his wife had him out at the hospital at McClellan Air Force Base in Sacramento, and doctors examined him, and he was on a gurney, and the doctors were over in the corner discussing his problem, and he could overhear him. One of the doctors said, we should send him down to Martinez, so the VA can take care of him down there. They can give him dialysis, and he heard that, and he gave him a loud expletive, something like BS. He says, I'm not going on dialysis. He says, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die at home. And he turned to his wife and he said, Lou, get my clothes and get me the hell out of here and take me home. And he did. The next morning he got up and he had breakfast, and his wife went in to shower and get dressed, and he was reading the newspaper, and when she came out, he was dead. And he was 69 years old at that time. But one tough monkey, I'll tell you. And then my younger brother, he was doing fine, did several things, and he ended up in Lexington, Kentucky. He had a fabric shop, he and his wife. A gal he met back there, met her in the studio of Arthur Murray, one of his dance studios. And married her. They started this business and were doing really great. He developed ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, and within about 2.5 years or so, he died also. And he was 67. And then my dad died along the way of heart problems. He was 75, died in 1965. My mother lived by herself for quite a few years, and she was doing fine until she developed throat cancer. She never smoked in her life, but she developed throat cancer, or developed throat cancer, and she was 89 when she passed away from cancer. So now we have left my oldest sister, who is 90 years old. My youngest sister, who is, she's 100 years old. My youngest sister, who is 91. And I'm the only male left in the whole family. I'm 94, pushing 95 pretty hard, and hoping to live to be 100, because I promised a whole lot of guys I would go skydiving with them on my 100th birthday. When I'm on my 90th birthday, I woke up on my 90th birthday and I thought, what am I going to do today that's different from the last 89 years? And I thought, geez, I've been flying all my life, and why, and I never had to bail out, never had to eject. So why not do something different? So I signed up to go skydiving, which I did, and I called up a good friend of mine in San Diego. He just happened to be the sports director for the NBC station in San Diego. And told him what I was going to do and asked him if he'd like to go with me. And he said, you let me know when you're going. So